Welcome back to Eye.Talk.Tech, where we explore the intersection of eye care and technology. And today we are going to look ahead to Vision Expo coming up in Orlando here. So excited to have back Michael Gatti. He is the Senior Manager of Professional Engagement at HOYA Vision Care. Michael, great to have you here again. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks. How about yourself?
I'm doing great today, and we're going to explore some of the things that HOYA has cooked up here for Vision Expo, and how you guys are looking to support independent ECPs. We have some education, some innovation, hands-on experiences, and of course, last time we were thinking about Vision Expo was on the West Coast,
Yeah.
and you guys were introducing the Conferee Cafe for the first time, and it's back. And
Yeah.
what's kind of the vibe that you guys are looking to set with that this year?
Yeah. In Vegas, we saw really good results with the Conferee Cafe. It's a vibe that just doesn't feel like expo. It's a place where people can just like get off their feet and go grab a seat, grab some coffee, like just hang out and kind of get away from all the hustle and the bustle of the expo floor. And I'm curious to see how it's received in East because traditionally East seems to be a little bit more lively than West. It's typically a bigger show. There's a lot more kind of just moving and grooving on the show floor. It's typically louder, like there's just a lot of buzz going around. And so I think it'll be nice to just to have a place where they can just kind of relax and get away from it all and just kind of hang out. We happened to get a really good spot this year. So in last year in Vegas, it was kind of tucked into the back of the show floor. But this year, it's just kind of right in the middle of the show floor. So it's in a really good spot this time. And so I'm excited for it. I think from our perspective, it was nice. It was nice to know that we weren't here just advertising and marketing like crazy and trying to sell, 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 sell. We've changed our tone and we're trying to become more consultative and getting away from the sales. And that's kind of our goal for the next several years is to say, how can we help with the practice? How can we help your practice grow? How are we even the right fit? I don't know. We have to have those conversations with the doctors and with the staff to see if we're even the right fit. And the Conferee Cafe, I think, like creates the perfect environment for that because it doesn't feel so aggressive. It's just we're just there hanging out, having a conversation, literally having a coffee, right? Just like let's just hang out and have a talk.
With a glowing cup or two, and are there going to be any magic tricks at the Conferee Cafe?
Uh, I don't know. There might be. I literally have a deck of cards right here for you, just in case we get to that. I'll be having some magic tricks in my educational classes later that
Okay,
in the weekend.
that's the plug.
You might find me at the Conferee Cafe doing. I don't know. Maybe it's possible.
Well, we won't rule it out at least. Well,
Mhm.
fair enough.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, and we of course have a couple particulars to touch on. We have the Sensity launch party, and
Yeah.
maybe we can walk through what that's going to be all about. We've had a couple shows here, looking at Sensity 3 with Kelly Roseman was a great opportunity. And what's kind of the launch party and the theme for that going to be at
Yeah.
Expo?
So we had a launch party last year at the Conferee Cafe in Vegas when we launched the Visu Pro lens as well and saw great success. Actually, I remember seeing you there. You were there for that, and we got to meet in person at the Conferee at that little launch party, which was nice. It's gonna be the same vibe. We've got Sensity 3 coming to the market. It's we've kind of teased it a little bit already in the polycarbonate material, but we know that although that's the most popular material in the country, it's not our most favorite material. It's we need it available in everything else. And that's all coming available in April. And so this is going to be the perfect time to launch that and kick that off and get everybody excited about the Sensity 3 options being available in all of the colors and all, I'm sorry, in all of the materials in gray and brown, which are the most popular colors. And so we're going to have some live demos. We'll have plenty of, business consultants walking around that they can chat and see how it works and how effective it is, what makes it new, what makes it unique. We're going to have all of those people there to be able to do that. But it is a launch party. So it is an actual party, right? We'll have a DJ, we'll have some popcorn, we'll have some nuts, we'll have some drinks, there'll be a bar, we'll have the whole thing. So we encourage everybody to come by and have a good time. But at the same time, figure out what's so new and what's so great about Sensity 3 live in person.
Absolutely, and is that a cool experience? You think it'd be valuable for Dex to come by and see that hands-on aspect of things? It's one thing to read about it, but I imagine that that's something that will be instructive.
Yeah, and we've got it, the rate at which these lenses change now is so fast that even when we make it faster, it's still fast. Like it's fast always, right? So that's going to be great, and you can see that happen live. You can watch it go clear, you can watch it go dark. But I think we've made some small shifts to the colors of our lenses. The gray is still a natural true gray, but by doing a lot of research, we've actually slightly changed the hue of the brown to being a more natural brown color tone that everybody seems to be loving because it gives them a more relaxed, comfortable vision. So it still heightens all of the color contrast that they're looking for in a brown lens, but it feels almost more gray. It feels natural. It feels good. And so it'd be nice to be able to see that in person and be able to see the differences that Sensity 3 brings.
Well, and we of course got to get kind of the scientific perspective on some of this from Warren Modlin on our previous time together. Is he going to be at Expo there? I'm forgetting.
Yeah, so he wasn't originally supposed to be there. So I think on our last podcast, he had to sadly say he was not going to be there. But I did just find out this week that he booked a ticket and he will be
There
there.
we go.
Yeah.
I had
So,
a sense I should ask that. All right, there we go.
so
We'll
I'm
have
actually
that'll
looking
be a
forward to
big
that.
pull.
Yeah.
That'll be a big pull for people to come check out
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
there
Come
as
have
well.
some
You get the
conversations with
science.
our R&D side and get, super technical on what's going on in the lenses for sure.
I
And,
love it.
we got to talk about Sensity 3. That's our big thing. That's what's launching at Expo. You and I and Warren all talked about this and from a science kind of technology standpoint, the research and the development. But listening to Warren talk about some of the future of what Hoya is going to be
Mm.
working on and what's to come from an R&D perspective is mind bending sometimes. And so if you're really into that kind of technical advancement, yeah, swing by and have a conversation with Warren. It'd be really good.
Yeah. One is something maybe in that direction here, this new virtual tool I'm hearing of called the HOYA Lens Preview. Is
Yeah.
that something in that vein, do you think?
Yeah, so it's actually a really cool online tool that we have that allows users to experience what their glasses are going to look like in all of the various lens options that we have. So Sensity being one of those, also all of the tints, all of the polarized colors, even our mirrored, like our fashion mirrored colors. No, I don't think you and I have talked about it, but we launched a mirror about a year ago that was brand new to the market called Lumicore. And the number one problem with mirrored lenses is they scratch like super easy. Like once you scratch them, you can notice them, and they're so neat. Like a tiny scratch is super noticeable on a mirrored lens, but this actually embeds the mirror inside the lens substrate itself, so you can't get to it. You can scratch the lens all you want; it's not going to make an impact on the mirror at all. So it's a really cool technology, but being able to see it and see like, well, what is it going to look like, and how will it look when it's on my face, and does red mirror look good with my skin tone, or should I do a blue, or like what's that going to look like? There's a variety of different tint colors that everybody wants to have, and then they get them on and realize that maybe rose isn't the best color for me or whatever they decide to choose. So the Hoya Lens Preview allows them to take a live interaction. It's like literally they're moving their head and the glasses are on their face, and they can put on basically overlay what those colors are going to look like. Now it's not just like simple colors. Like typically, it's like, oh, it's gray or brown. Like, no, we actually got some very high resolution professional photos done of our tints and our colors, and then imported those into the software. So when we say it's a Sensity gray, that literally is what Sensity gray is going to look like on your face. Or if we say that
Mm.
a rose tint, that is the rose tint that we use in the labs, and that's exactly what it's going to look like on your glasses. And so it's really cool because it's not just a picture and it's not just like a lens demo that you can look through. It literally looks just like you and I do right now on screen.
What are you looking at? Are you looking at like an iPad or a
It
computer screen
You
or
can do it on an iPad. You can do it on a computer screen is actually where we can find it, but you can do it on an iPad as well. It's internet based. So as long as you can access the internet, you can do it. But it looks just like you and I are looking at now. The difference is we've got glasses on that it actually fits on top of our face. And then we can just basically play with the lenses and go, we can just almost like a drag and drop. Like, oh, I want to see what polarized brown looks like. And let's see what green looks like. And they'll just go on your face and you can move around and kind of see how it all looks, and they just stay on on your face. It's a really cool interactive way to demonstrate how the lenses are going to look when choosing all of the different colors that we have to choose from.
yeah, is that something this is just a question off the top of my head. Is that something that's shareable if you have a lens or frame that you're liking the look of it? I run into this event myself where I was testing out some glasses at my clinic recently, and I thought, I better get the wife's approval
Yeah.
here. Is that something that could be shared and make
Yeah,
sure we're all on the same
that's
page?
one of the biggest things. We're actually so this yes in the platform right now. We're also working with our digital measuring tool platform. It's called Spectangle Pro. We're working with the company on that to integrate HOYA Lens Preview into Spectangle Pro, so you can do it from either one. Both of them have the ability to share that information out with somebody. That's one of our biggest things is like if you're in the office and you've got a pair of glasses that you like and everything's there and you're here, like we've got everything situated. The last thing that I want from a practitioner is for you to leave and then hope that you come back, right? So the ability to just like quickly shoot over a text or an email and say, "Hey, look at these. This is what I found. What are you thinking?" And it's huge. It's very,
Yeah.
and yeah, we could do that for sure.
Very, very cool.
Yeah,
Well, and then something that I know that's near and dear to your heart is education, and
yeah.
certainly, a cornerstone for Hoya's mission as well here, and that's a good alignment. But tell me a little bit about what you have going on personally on the education side, and then maybe what Hoya's looking to spotlight as far as their commitment to education as well.
Yeah, so I mean, education's been a huge part in what we've been doing over the last several years. It's kind of fun. I was talking to my wife about this recently, is for the last several years, we've been trying to build up this education within Hoya and let everybody know that we're here to help educate and further along the industry, get everybody smarter, get everybody comfortable, get everybody professional. And it's been working. The good news is it's been working. The bad news is I'm traveling all the time. I'm everywhere. My team is busy all the time. We've got conferences and state shows and CEs all galore, all over the place, which is great. It means that there obviously is a need within the market for education, and Hoya is here to help support it, which I think is huge. And it's not going anywhere. We're going to continue doing that, whether it be online through online learning portals or in person when we can support it. We're going to be helping to support the industry in terms of education. At Vision Expo, I have a couple ABO CEs that I'll be delivering. So I'll be delivering 3 ABO credits that I delivered at Expo West. This is you and I played with this last time, which is the binocular technology one, which allows our eyes to see together. So got some cool kind of interactive demonstrations in there. One of my favorites that I wasn't able to deliver last year is how we visualize our reality. This is a super super cool education because it taps into something that I think most opticians have never thought about before, which is just how complex and difficult light is, and then how light provides us sight. So we actually go through several different optical illusions, which allow us to see that our brain is really the one that's producing vision, not our eyes. And if we trick the information going to the brain, then we can trick what you see at the same time. So that one, I absolutely love that one. I think it's the most just kind of abstract course that I've ever written. And then my last course that I have is on digital measuring devices. And I know from an optical standpoint, a lot of doctors are trying to figure out, is a digital measuring device for my practice? Should I have it? And the reality is they're starting to get very popular outside of the independent industry, which means if you don't have it, you're going to look like you're falling behind. The advantage is it gives a wow factor to the patients that they're not used to having, right? If I'm spending $800 on a pair of lenses, the last thing I want is for you to mark my lenses with a vis-a-vis marker, right? So like this gives them that wow factor, of like, oh, I've never had that before. What are you doing? And it's not just the same measurements; it's more. We get more measurements. But I think the hardest thing that most people have within that is the efficacy and the accuracy of the device. And the thing that I keep telling everybody is the problem we have with these digital measuring devices is they are better than we are. And it's a really hard thing for us to wrap our head around because we don't want to believe that, but it's the truth. They're compensating for things that mathematically by the books we should be compensating for, but we're not. Right? And so when I try to verify my measurements against the digital measurements, they're going to be different. It's not that it's wrong. It's actually that I'm probably wrong because I didn't compensate for certain things. So I really dive into that, and I think it's eye opening to a lot of practitioners just how accurate some of these devices are and why they're not getting matching measurements. But I have one more course that I was asked to deliver by the Vision Expo staff. It's actually the education system. The education is ran by the UOA, the United Opticians Association, and they reached out to me and asked to deliver an exclusive course or exclusive content only for Vision Expo. So I wrote a brand new course that's only going to be delivered at Vision Expo in Orlando, and I won't be delivering anywhere else at least for a year. Is kind of what they asked us for. So it'll be exclusive, and that's the one I'm most excited about. You mentioned magic. That's the one that actually uses a little bit of magic. I am not a magician by any means, but one of the things that I always challenge my team on, and when we talk about education, is finding ways to make education fun and engaging. And we typically write our education backwards than most people do. Most people find a topic and then try to find a way to make it engaging. My team finds engagement and then tries to match a topic. And so we don't really, it makes it very difficult to us when someone says, hey, can you write us a presentation on materials? Because it's not the way we operate. We usually go, ooh, what's really fun and exciting and engaging and interactive? And then go, okay, that sounds great. Now let's see if we can attach materials to that conversation. And it goes a little bit backwards. And that's what I did with magic. I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole and like, wow, how are they doing these things? And how is magic happening? And really, it's deceptive is really all it is. They're deceiving your mind. But what they're really playing into is all of your biases. And so what I learned through that was that we could learn a lot from magic on our biases within the practice. And so I wrote a course on the conformational biases, the emotional biases, the halo effects, and all of those things that can impact the interactions that we have with our patients within our practices. And through that, I'll be demonstrating some of it through magic, which will make it a little bit more fun.
That is awesome. Well,
Yeah.
and the engagement is something that I know you guys nail, and the other thing is you guys typically do a good job making things practical, and how can we take this engaging information and apply it directly in a clinical sense? Is that something that's always at the forefront of your mind, is in part of that backwards building, if you will?
Yeah, always, because even from a clinical sense, we go around and do a lot of shadowing and coaching and helping with all of those things with the practice. But from the engagement kind of perspective, the only thing that really matters in your practice is your patient's experience. You can be the best doctor in the world, but if the experience isn't good, they're not going to come back. Right. So it's like obviously you need a balance of both, and the accuracy of your exam is going to play into that experience. But really, it just comes down to the experience that the patient had. And even from just like you said, from a patient, from a practice perspective and from a practitioner or even a clinician perspective, engagement through your patient is what creates that experience. And all so often, I find doctors are very prescriptive in their conversations with their patients. They don't feel like they actually care. They feel like they're checking off boxes. Right, so they ask very scripted questions like, "Are you experiencing any floaters? How's your nighttime vision?" And then they're like, "Okay, great. Move you on to the next person." They have no idea what they do for a living. They have no idea how they use their eyes. They have no idea how their eyes have maybe shifted over time unless they ask that question. They don't know that they're going on their honeymoon next weekend, whatever it might be, right? And I think we're missing a lot of that. And some of that comes from our biases and just the way that we perceive patients as they walk through the door. And my goal is to hopefully change that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a great project, great ambition,
Yeah.
and I'm excited to see what you have in store on the magic side as well there
Yeah, it'll
too.
be good. So I've got my deck of cards. I just opened this deck of cards. It's a brand new card. And I got rid of my jokers and got rid of like the little card things. But
Yeah.
the deck is actually still in numerical order. So that's actually, let me go this way, which is going to be really backwards for me. But it's still in numerical order, right? We still like this is how decks come. They're in numerical order.
Yep.
So real quick before we go, I'm gonna shuffle these and I'm gonna get them not in numerical order so that they're not, perfectly set up for you.
Are we getting a live preview here today? I
Yeah,
didn't know.
this is one of them that I'm gonna do in my class. So I'm hoping that the people in my class aren't really gonna watch this before the expo. I'm hoping this hits the doctors and not the opticians, but you never know. They might see a small preview, and that's fine. Most of my class won't see this at all, which is fine. But I'm gonna try to do it as best as I can on the camera here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have you. I'm just gonna stand up and go this way. I'm just gonna go like this. And what I want you to do, Dr. Christensen, is I want you to just tell me when to stop, and we will call that your card.
Stop.
Okay. So this is going to be your card right here. I have not selected this card, right? So just to make sure, do you
Yep.
want me to go forward or backwards any, or is this card okay?
That's the one.
Okay. So I'm not going to look at this card. I'm going to turn away, and I want you to just kind of get an idea of and I don't even know if I'm in the camera. So am I good?
You're perfect.
Are we?
This looks rehearsed.
Okay. Okay. I wasn't sure because I can't see. So I'm going to put that down so that I can't see the card. Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to come back with my deck, and I'm just going to slide your card into the deck here. And I'm going to get this in here. Now, what I want you to do, Dr. Christian, is I really want you to think about your card. Okay, and so all you have to do, yeah, just think about your card as much as you can. I don't know what your card is. I want you to think about it as hard as you can. And then what we're going to do is, because I can't do this over the camera, what I would typically have you do is I would have you hold these cards, but I can't do that over the camera. So I'm just
Yeah.
going to have you hold. I'm going to kind of hold the cards for you. And while we're holding these cards, I just want you to kind of think about your card being the only card in the deck.
Yep.
Okay. And then now that we have your card kind of being the only card in the deck, I'm just going to take this deck again and I'm going to spread it out again. And I don't know exactly where we put your card, but somewhere in this deck, right in the middle where in person you would have slid this in yourself, we're going to find your card is the only card
Hey, there it
that's
is.
actually facing up. So I'm going to assume that that was your card, Dr. Christensen. Is that right?
It would have been awkward if it wasn't.
It would have been awkward, especially because it's on camera, and I don't know if it was or not. So it's just such a simple trick. And I'm going to reveal it to you because in my class, I'm going to reveal this on why this is so important and why this works. But all I did, Dr. Christensen, on this is this card deck was set up perfectly for you, and it was shuffled, and they were all all in the same order. But what you didn't see was I also made this card upside down. Right. And so both sides of the cards are actually looking like a full set of cards. And so all I did was go like this. And so the only thing that actually changed here was the top card was actually upside down. Every other card was sitting upright. So when we slid your card in the wrong direction, it worked. But your confirmation bias didn't allow you to think through that. Your confirmation bias said this must be a normal deck of cards because the top card is down.
Matter
And
of
so you played,
perspective.
and it's such a simple trick, but it plays so hard into the confirmation of those. It must be a standard set. It must be a standard deck of cards because they're all sitting that way. And so we're going to use tricks like this to really expose just how easy our confirmation bias plays in. And really all that's doing is it's our brain drawing shortcuts is really what's happening. And my goal is to make everybody aware of those shortcuts so that we can either see if either they're helping us or they're not helping us. And it could go either direction. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But we'll have a little bit of fun at Vision Expo with some magic. And I've got some other tricks that I can show you more in person that are a lot harder to do on camera. So at the Conferee Cafe, well, at the Sensity 3 launch party, one of those two, I'll be at both. If I can find you, Dr. Christensen, we'll do some more magic tricks with you.
I love it, and I always appreciate the philosophical poignancy. You are always dialed in on that front for us and drawing it back to, how we can help patients at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We know, of course, the big launch is Sensity 3, but I understand there's also a teaser for an expansion of this Sensity family. Can you tell me a little bit about that as maybe a final teaser before we wrap up here?
Yeah. That's actually going to be something called Sensity Colors. So we're launching Sensity 3, which is going to be kind of our flagship product. It's a phenomenal product, but it's only going to be available in gray and brown. And now gray and brown account for about 95% of sales, whether it be in sunglasses or photochromics, or it doesn't matter. Gray and brown tends to be what everybody chooses. Even though they have all of these options to choose from, they always settle back on gray and brown. So we're launching Sensity 3 in gray and brown, but we understand that there's a big market for people who want the fashionable tint. They're looking for that orange or blue or green or red or whatever it might be. And so Sensity Colors is going to be that. And it's launching in May. And it's going to have an inside fashionable tint. So it'll have about a 40% color when it's indoors, but we got about 5 different colors you can choose from, including some gradients, which will be nice. And then when it goes out, it'll activate into a full dark photochromic. So it uses actually our Sensity Fast technology, which means in its change going to dark and clear, it's going to be the fastest photochromic on the market. So super, super quick. But because it has the combination of the indoor fashion tint and then the outdoor photochromic, it ends up being a very dark photochromic lens when it's outside, and then a nice, cool, fashionable color lens when it's inside. So that'll be fun. We'll have some of those colors to see in the Conferee Cafe, I'm sure, as well, and at the launch party, so you can see some of those in person. But those are coming out soon after in May.
Well, absolutely. Michael, thanks again for coming back on the show. We always appreciate, getting the inside scoop from you guys at HOYA. And to our listeners attending the show, make sure you check out that Conferee Cafe, check out the Sensity launch party, and then, of course, attend some of Michael's educational opportunities there as well. Also, to our listeners, if you are enjoying the content and the connection and sort of the inside baseball about the new technology coming down the chute, please like, share, subscribe, and feel free to throw out any ideas for subsequent shows, and make sure that the provider community is in this together. So, Michael, thanks again so much, and I look forward to seeing you in Florida here.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. Thanks for having us. I appreciate it.
Take care.